That's how we organise these things.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Sometimes there's slight distraction.
I'll pile on. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I'm telling you,
if something's late, you know why. It's because someone is refusing to do something.
Until Boris has paid us attention.
Space engineers. That makes it a lot easier.
Which series,
it's even
Boris?
faster than Mary's. Oh, okay. If we're going to do this every time, then no, it's slower.
Well, we've got so many Space Engineer series. We do at least need to make that bit clear, because for our viewers trying to keep track of which thing they're watching us build right now, the way the time's moving backwards and forwards.
So if someone is actually bothering to watch this, right below the video.
Oh dear. So rather than just introduce it, we'll just patronise them instead.
Sounds good to me.
They love it.
Mm-hmm.
In the link, I'm going to put a link in the description of this video also, for a service to help teach people to read, just in case they couldn't read the video.
Oh dear.
Okay. Right, so I'm building a cargo. Each one of these cargo containers is supposed to be for each person.
Okay.
And they'll be able to access them with the thing, the outside. Mm-hmm. That's outside. There's supposed to be a wall there, so you can't see it.
Yeah.
And each of these, we're going to like grind them down, each person, and actually own this cargo container, so you can set your own stuff. Actually, that's a question. Can you access a cargo container? Say, for example, this top one up here was owned by you, and this one was by me, and you had that locked. Could I still access the cargo container through yours? I don't think I can.
Probably not.
For me and you, because we're in the same faction, I'm not sure. Oh, yes. That just complicates everything. Yeah.
So I think I'll have to run, like, even more efficiently, run another line down the bottom.
Although you might be able to, because on my little blue welding ship, Nordic had built something, something like the oxygen generator he built, and it wasn't shared. But I could still access the oxygen tank, which was shared, and I had to access one through the other. So I think sometimes, some circumstances...
It won't be too difficult to run another line, so I'll leave it like this, and then if we need it when it happens, because we can't test it yet, it's not finished, and I couldn't be bothered, then we'll make the change if need be.
So this
I don't know what design I was going for, but whatever it was that was in my head didn't really work out. So, at the moment, there's just a bunch of claws holding cargo containers up. And I don't know why.
But if you repeated that pattern on the bottom...
Yeah, that's what I was just in the process of doing. I can't charge myself on this one. I just need some space engineer food. Oh, no, I'm dead.
Oh. Couldn't reach your mouth in time.
No, I ran into a ship.
Oh.
Oh, I understand now. After all this time of complaining about them changing that when you spawn in, you don't have your jetpack on.
Yeah.
It makes sense now, because you can set world settings to not include jetpacks and stuff like that. It makes sense to have it set on that. I finally understood why, because it's been really annoying.
Yeah. Oh, I must admit the same, because sometimes I've come out of my cryo chamber, which isn't on ground level, and I've fallen.
Yeah.
And hurt myself.
have I just put those? I have. I've gotten one block too low.
Are you still in ship repairs, Sal?
Yeah, I've just.
Wow.
I'm trying to get. There's one particular place where it's a bit tricky to place the thrusters, and I had this problem when I first built it. And I will get round to sorting it out, but in the meantime I just keep on dealing with it. Okay, I seem to be missing thrusters all over the place on this little ship. When I built this ship, somebody had the very good idea suggesting to me that I build a projector block in the centre of it so that I can, as they get damaged, you can just switch the projector on and then weld up the blocks that are missing. But I've modified the ship so many times now that it's nothing like the original design.
True.
So I need to take a new snapshot thingy. I thought that went there, it obviously doesn't.
Not long ago, I bought a new mouse. I'm finally used to it. But there's basically the choice between a mouse more suited to a first-person shooter, a mouse more suited to like a MOBA, or just a general all-round sort of mouse. And I went for the all-round one, the G502, but I'm kind of regretting that because the MOBA one has about 1 billion buttons on the side, which at the time I didn't think I'd ever use them, but which is why I went with the sort of all-round one. But I'm kind of wishing I got it now because on that mouse you can assign things like the rotations for the blocks.
Oh,
yeah.
You don't have to move your hand across to the insert, delete little area.
Yeah, I must admit, I was watching Sage. Apparently, Sage does that with his mouse.
It only just hit me then that I should have done that.
Yeah, it's a good idea. It did take me quite a while to get used to the keystrokes to place some of the blocks in the opposite fashion to the mirror symmetry image of the first block I placed to get a pattern. But finally, just because I could spend 5 minutes just pressing the buttons, keep pressing them until the...
Oh, I still do that. Which is why I like building ships rather than building bases and things, because the armor blocks, oh good god, and using the slanted ones, you know, like the slopes and the triangles in particular, and the inverse things.
No, I've done a lot of practice with them in my ships that I've been building, because I've tried to get a lot of cylindrical or tapering cylindrical shapes, and I've had to utilize all these blocks, and I've finally got used to the patterns that they create.
Yeah, because you have quite stylized ships, so to make those shapes you're using quite a lot of
they're completely impractical ships, essentially. I suppose it's like Boris's, you know, it's more aesthetic than functionality. My bongo ship was actually the hardest to try and get a tapering, a slight taper on a cylinder. That's difficult.
It looks amazing.
Do you have your... I was wondering for ages why Anubiz had so much trouble with the rotation of the keys. And the reason why he does is, or at least used to, I don't know if he's changed keyboard since then, but that little group of keys was different to a standard keyboard. So his didn't make sense.
Oh, okay.
In terms of the rotation.
My insert key is not within that group.
Now that is tough. Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand the issue.
Yeah, because there's plenty of times where, in order to turn a block clockwise, I have to use an anti-clockwise key. My hand isn't moving in an intuitive fashion, so it might be that my keyboard isn't set up the way that they were thinking when they put them that way around.
Yeah, again, it's like trying to get used to an unintuitive system to the point where it is second nature. But I suppose... And
then when they make it easier, it's going to be impossible to change.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But I suppose in my line of IT work, I've had to work with several different systems, PCs and Apples, and I've had to be able to adjust a great deal. Instead of complaining to my bosses that, no, can I please have it the standard way I'm used to?
Where did I leave the grinder? There. Large steel tubes.
Oh, it's very satisfying to finish a whole line of conveyors and see the lights turn from red to yellow.
Yeah, green lights in the pipes. Love it. Tell you what, without Anubiz, it's a very sort of calm, thoughtful, getting on with the job type of series.
So I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
Anything without Anubiz is better. Have I told you before that I really don't like Anubiz?
I've heard it. I've heard it randomly mentioned in subtle terms.
To quote Anubiz himself, we tease because we love.
Yes, indeed. No, I liked Anubiz's ending of the sentence when I said, great minds think alike.
Fools never differ.
Differ, yeah, that was good. People tend to forget the second part of that saying.
I know what that... I was just trying to think. There was something was going on because when Anubiz replied, he hadn't said anything for ages. And that was when we were having the virtual pile-on. Which was one of the most bizarre things I think I've ever been involved with. And somehow...
It was.
Boris just completely ignored it. He walked in and said, "Why is this package sleeping?" And then walked out again.
It could have been referring to the package of tightly packed bodies or the package in his letterbox, one of the two. But yeah, that was a good effort.
It was, and it went on for such a long time as well. So for our viewers who are probably wondering why they haven't seen this episode, of a virtual pylon. It was actually in a Skype chat. This is what we do in our spare time when we're not making videos. Is we throw Anubiz on the floor and we all jump on top of him.
It was literally because Anubiz hadn't heard of the term pylon.
So we decided to reenact it in chat.
Yeah, virtual
Except
pylon.
for me, I ignored it and just hoped it would go away.
And who was it? Apple came on and said, "Why on earth are there so many messages?"
There was 600 messages, wasn't there? Because we'd been piling on for about 8 hours by the time Apple came on. I mean, we'd stopped for a cup of tea. We'd been passing cup of teas down the pile. We'd
all dozed off. Yeah, we
were on a rota to make sure that Anubiz couldn't get out. It was hilarious, and we decided that we were staying there until Boris at least acknowledged our presence, if not piled on himself.
It's never happened.
Apple was the last one on the pile, wasn't he?
He was. Ah, yes. Who knew that a pylon could elicit so much?
It went on for more than 24 hours. So,
highbrow.
And while that was going on, because it was in the chat where we're usually organising what we're recording and when and stuff like that, absolutely nothing else happened.
Things like Nidd events. That's how we organise these things.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Sometimes there's slight distraction.
I'll pile on. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I'm telling you,
if something's late, you know why. It's because someone is refusing to do something.
Until Boris has paid us attention.
That's right. Or we've set the world record for the longest virtual pylon.
Yeah.
Which I still claim that we have.
I think we did.
Contact Guinness. Mm-hmm. And I call on anyone to try and do one longer than 48 hours.
Yeah, and the thing is, we will, if we hear of such a thing, I'm sure we'll just take up the challenge again. It was funny.
Just notch it up. It was.
Yeah. Mia being squeezed between me and you, slowly losing his innocence.
Very slowly. You could not slip away.
You could watch it. You could watch it ticking away. Oh dear. See, and this was while I was away on holiday and didn't have any games to play.
True.
Holiday? My one. Yeah. I had a laptop with me, which I played Disco Dodgeball on it. It's like an 8-year-old MacBook, and it was an interesting experience. The lag was, I haven't played with lag since since that was my main gaming computer. On my current setup. And I hadn't played anything, like certainly not played a first-person shooter on it before, and it's as close, it's kind of what it is. It was fun.
Oh, lag can turn one game into a totally different game.
Okay, I think this ship's done.
It's time for the end of the episode.
Oh, goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Still have no idea what I'm building. So come back next time to see it continue in exactly the same fashion.